What if death were not a fate, but a technical problem to be solved? For millennia, humans have dreamed of immortality. But only in the past 500 years has that dream truly transformed into a global scientific race that promises to radically change the meaning of life and death. Welcome to the 70,000-year-old secret of humanity. Today, we will delve into a topic that has perhaps haunted humanity since the dawn of consciousness: death. More than just a natural event, death has always been a mystery, a fear, and a cruel limit that humans have always longed to overcome. Together, we will explore the 500-year race to find the elixir of life, a journey full of ambition, science, and profound philosophical questions. Throughout history, death has been seen as an inevitable fate, an integral part of the cycle of life and death. Ancient religions promised an eternal life after death, a paradise, a rebirth, or a union with the universe. The goal was not to defeat death in this life, but to achieve immortality in another world, a spiritual realm. From Egyptian pharaohs mummifying corpses in preparation for eternal life, to Chinese alchemists attempting to concoct the elixir of life, to Indian sages seeking nirvana, all reflected a desire to escape the confines of mortal life. However, these efforts were often based on religious beliefs, magic, or a very primitive understanding of the natural world. But then, about 500 years ago, a seismic shift occurred in human thinking, ushering in a new era, the scientific revolution. Before this time, people believed that much of what was important about the universe had been revealed by ancient texts, gods, or priests. All learning revolved around explaining, preserving, and transmitting existing knowledge. Death was among them, a natural phenomenon ordained by a supreme being, or the result of karma. People accepted it as an unchangeable part of life. But the scientific revolution changed all that. As Yuval Noah Harari points out in *Sapiens*, the foundation of modern science is not complacency about what we know, but the humility to admit our ignorance. We don't know, scientists declare, but we can find out. Faith in progress, in the possibility of solving any problem through research, observation, and experimentation took root. And then on, death ceased to be a mystical fate and became a technical problem, a complex biological challenge that science could solve. In the early centuries of the scientific revolution, from the 16th to the 18th centuries, the focus was not on immortality, but on extending life and reducing suffering. Early advances focused on hygiene, public health, and a rudimentary understanding of the human body. The invention of the microscope opened up the world of bacteria and viruses, invisible enemies that cause disease and death. Then came small but great revolutions, the development of vaccines by Edward Jenner in the late 17th century, which saved millions of lives from smallpox. These achievements showed that humans could not only delay death, but also defeat some of the causes of death. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, medicine continued to advance by leaps and bounds. Louis Pasteur's germ theory revolutionized our understanding of infectious disease. The discovery of antibiotics, beginning with Alexander Fleming's penicillin, turned seemingly incurable diseases into solvable problems. Tuberculosis, pneumonia, and sepsis, mass killers of the past, were gradually eradicated. Life expectancy soared to an unprecedented level. These were important leaps because they reinforced the belief that death was nothing more than a set of technical problems. By the mid-20th century, with the advent of molecular biology, the decoding of DNA, and the explosion of genetics, the race for the elixir of life entered a whole new phase. Scientists could now peer into the genetic makeup of life, understanding how cells function, age, and die. Death was no longer an abstract concept, but a result of cellular deterioration, DNA replication errors, waste accumulation, and hormonal imbalances. If we understood these mechanisms, could we intervene and correct them? Today, at the turn of the 21st century, this race has become more public and bold than ever before. Many scientists, tech investors, and even governments are betting big on the possibility of defeating death. Larry Page, co-founder of Google, founded Calico with the explicit goal of solving death. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, has also invested in anti-aging companies. For these people, death is a software bug, a bug in a biological system that needs to be patched.
Modern research is attacking death from every angle. First, we have genetics and gene editing. So CRISPR-Cas9 and other gene editing tools are allowing scientists to correct disease-causing mutations or even reprogram cells to combat aging. The idea is to remove or alter genes involved in the body's decline with age. Then we have stem cells and regenerative medicine. The ability to regenerate damaged tissues and organs holds great promise. Instead of replacing a damaged heart with a donor heart, we could grow a completely new heart from the patient's own cells, or repair an existing heart. Then we have anti-aging drugs. Many compounds are being studied to slow aging at the cellular level. Drugs such as metformin, a diabetes drug, and rapamycin, an immunosuppressant, are being tested for their ability to prolong life and reduce the risk of age-related diseases. Scientists are also studying senolytics, compounds that can kill harmful senescent cells. And then we have cryonics. Although still controversial and unproven, cryonics is an attempt to pause the process of dying. The idea is to freeze the bodies of people who have just died in the hope that future technology will be able to revive them and cure the disease that killed them, or even reverse the aging process. And then we have nanotechnology and AI. Tiny nanorobots can patrol the body, repairing cells, destroying pathogens, and removing toxic waste. And artificial intelligence is being used to analyze large amounts of biological data, speeding up drug discovery and understanding the mechanisms of aging. And then we have brain-computer interfaces and mind uploading. This is the most extreme scenario, but it is no longer pure science fiction. If consciousness can be digitized and uploaded to a computer or an artificial body, biological death of the body will no longer be the end of existence. Elon Musk with Neuralink is taking the first steps in connecting the brain to computers. So, for Harari, these ambitions are not just scientific, but a philosophical and even religious shift. He calls it the project of conquering death, or even the death of death. When we begin to see death as something to be avoided, it radically changes the way we live, love, and define ourselves. If we could live forever, would we still yearn to leave a legacy, to give meaning to our finite lives, or would the meaning of life be transformed altogether? However, this journey is not without its difficult ethical and social questions. If we do achieve immortality or significantly extend our lifespan, who will enjoy that privilege? Will it be reserved for the super rich, creating a new species of human, a Homo Deus, while the rest of humanity continues to face death and disease? This could lead to an unprecedented social divide, with different biological classes who can live forever and those who cannot. What would happen to population pressures? Would the Earth's resources be sufficient to support such a large population indefinitely? Would society become stagnant and uninnovative if the old never died off and a new generation with new ideas never emerged? Moreover, would eternal life really be a blessing, or would it become a burden, an endless boredom? Is the fear of death the secret motivation that drives us to live a full and meaningful life? Without death, would we still cherish every moment, every relationship, every achievement? The past 500 years have been the story of a small species, sapiens, that has dared to defy one of the most basic laws of nature. We have gone from accepting our fate to seeing death as a problem to be solved.
The race for the elixir of life is more than a scientific quest. It is a revolution in our thinking, our beliefs, and our capabilities. It shows our perseverance, our inventiveness, and our inherent arrogance. But what did science need to achieve these remarkable advances? It needed massive resources, organization, and a powerful incentive to promote research and development. And what provided all of this over the past 500 years, alongside the explosion of modern science? The rise of empires and the global economic system. So, what created this strange parallel between science and empire? Why did they thrive side by side, fueling each other in their quest for world domination? We will explore this deep and complex connection in the next episode. Science and empire. Why did they develop together? Don't miss it.